Okay, in this video I got a piece of field gear. If you can't tell what it is, these are cast iron Dutch ovens. I do have some issues with these for consideration for use by units in the field, but I can also understand why a unit may want to have a Dutch oven, and that's because it really increases the recipes and entrees, whatever, that you can do in the field for a unit for your field mess. Now, I am not an expert on cast iron. I don't know much on them. So if you got questions, go over to channels that deal with cast iron a lot more. One of them I recommend is Cowboy Kent Rawlings. I will try to put a couple links in the description for videos he's done on how to restore cast iron, how to take care of cast iron and that. But from my understanding, you have two general styles here. This one is basically just like a big soup pot type, and this is primarily meant for being hung above a fire or put right down on it. That's my general understanding of it. And then you have this type, which is a lot more common, a lot more versatile. Has this edge on it, this rim. This is so that you can put coals on the top so you can heat from the bottom and the top. You really can't do that with this type because the coals would slide off. This type also has feet on it, as you see here. And something I found out to watch for, look at the bottom of these feet. If they're hollow, you're going to have to make sure to clean them out on a regular basis because mud and wet dirt and whatnot can get caught up into these feet and rust them from the inside out. So watch out for that. When you're trying to pick out a cast iron Dutch oven, try to get one that those feet are solid all the way through. My understanding on them, when you clean them, you're primarily just going through getting the food out. You do not scrub them. Do not use any metal utensils on them. They have to be a wood utensil. Wood works better. You could use a plastic or rubber, but it's recommended you use wood utensils. If you use a scrub brush while you're cleaning, you're going to take off some of the seasoning more than you want to. If you use metal utensils, you're scraping off the seasoning. And after every time that you wash them, you're supposed to re-season them. For re-seasoning, you use a type of oil, natural oils, like a vegetable oil or something along those lines, coat it, and then you heat it up to basically bake on the oil. This Dutch oven has not been used yet. I went through, seasoned it as best I could inside a stove. And before I'm ever going to use it, I'll go through, do a light clean out of the inside with some mild soap and water. Not a lot of soap, just to clean out the inside. And then put my ingredients inside and use it accordingly. This type, I have not seasoned it yet. It still has to get cleaned up. There's still rust in it and that. The rust has to be taken out. It would be a very handy tool for a mess team, but these things are heavy as hell. They are cast iron. So you're not going to strap this to a rucksack and carry with you. It's just way too much weight. Maybe if you have some type of cart or something, you could put it on the cart. If you have a chuck wagon or type setup that you're hauling behind a horse when you're out in the field, or you're using ATVs or something, maybe you could get away with bringing something like this. But if you're going light infantry, this is not something you're going to want to carry with, unless, like I said, you have it on some type of cart. But it is an option. You know, they're out there. There's lots of different types. No, I don't know the different types and all that. Like I said, I don't know a ton on them. This is just another item that you could potentially use with your mess teams. Something for consideration. I know with my unit, we don't currently plan for bringing something like this with us. We're actually using lightweight aluminum or stainless steel mess gear cook sets. That's what we plan on having with us. So, and the pots on those sets we can obviously put together and pack down. This, I suppose you could put your utensils and whatever you need inside here and carry it that way, but it's big, it's heavy, it's clunky. If you can get away with it, you can handle the weight, you know, give it a shot. I do not recommend carrying it with you though. Now, would you want to cache something like this? That's going to be a big issue, because if you're putting this in a ground and a cache, the chances of this getting rusty is pretty damn high because of being exposed to moisture. And even if you put it inside, say, a 55-gallon drum for storage until the next time you get to that point for using what's there, you're still probably going to want to coat this with probably a fresh coating of oil, not just season it, to try to cut down on it rusting. Well, if that's the case, then other things inside that cache might get exposed to that oil, and who knows how that'll affect it. Things to think about. I do recommend, if you do go the cast iron Dutch oven route, try to get a hold of a cookbook for cast iron recipes to help you out. I know Lodge makes some. I actually have one laying around somewhere in my library. The stuff's out there. One person asked me about crock pot recipes, because I had linked to some over on my Militia, and he wondered could those be prepared in the field, and I told him possibly if you had a Dutch oven, that could you could do crock pot type recipes inside your Dutch oven. Another route to think. Now, for all my engineer brothers and the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.